Peace, 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 love, light of healing, peace, love, light of healing, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in, climb on in. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Y'all climb on in. If you can hear me and if you can see me well, type in some nines. If you can hear me and if you can see me well, type in some nines. Shalom, shalom. Hotep, hotep. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Yes, peace, love, light, breath, and unity to all of y'all climbing in. I want to just dialogue with y'all. Talk to y'all today, talking about processed foods and how if you eat a processed food or if you eat processed foods, eventually you will become processed. Showing how eating processed foods actually process your DNA, process your body, and then, you have leftover processed cells. And that's the reason why you lack phytonutrients. That's the reason why you lack minerals. You're very mineral deficient. You lack iron, you lack all types of stuff, which brings in, water to accumulate in the cells, which causes the cells to swell up to hold water because of the acids that's been accumulated because you eat these processed foods and, potentially give you your sicknesses and so-called diseases. So y'all climb on in and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. To truly understand, overstand, and understand what I'm talking about, you have to realize from a physiological aspect what the body truly is. And when you look at the physiological manifestation of the body, and especially the digestive tract, when you pay close attention to the digestive system, your body is a food processor. That's what your body is. It's a food processor. One of the biggest systems in your body is, in fact, the digestive system. It starts with your mouth and it ends at your anus. This is your whole torso, and it's even inside your head. The only place that your digestive system is not at is in your lower extremities, from your reproductive organ on down to your feet. Every place of your body, everywhere else, is actually the digestive system. It makes up the majority of your body. Even the primitive gut tube, when you study embryology, the primitive gut tube, that's where everything is grown from. Whether we're talking about the bronchial tubes, whether we're talking about the lungs, whether we're talking about the earbuds, whether we're talking about the hind gut, the foregut, or the midgut, your liver, your gallbladder, your intestines, your kidneys, your adrenals, your reproductive organ, all of these things are made from the primitive gut tube during the embryonic stages of your growth and development, you becoming a fetus. So it's very imperative that we realize what we truly are. We are a food processor. Even our mind is a food processor. That's where you get the word food for thought, because you download intellectual conversations and you scan your environment and you decode the codes in the environment, and then you download and upload these things to the database to expand your consciousness. So even your mindset goes through processing food, or what you call food for thought. We have to realize and we have to understand that food is way more than just things that you put in your mouth, even though I'm going to be talking about what you put in your mouth today. We could talk about the other stuff during another time. So this is what I was thinking about, y'all, because I'm sitting here and I'm doing a little studying, right? And this is what I'm studying right now. And we just looking at, food processing, how to make a potato into a potato chip, how to make a sweet potato into a sweet potato fry, how to make wheat into bread, how to take sugar cane and turn it into sugar. The process is so crazy. So check this out. Everything inside of the world that is created off of the human body. For instance, if you look at a car was created off the human body. A speakers was created from your ears. The camera lens was created from your eye lenses, or what they call the retinas. You see that everything was created off of us. Even your heart pace, your heart makers, heartbeats, drums, everything that we see inside of reality, and all the technology that we see inside of reality, or that we see that the government is creating, is all created off of a blueprint that was made by your biospiritual vehicle, because your body is really the most complex technology ever in existence. So when you really start looking at processed food, and processed food go through its processes for the food that you like to eat, that have that certain sugar and fat and salt ratio in it, and that make you very addictive to it, your body is already doing it in the first place. And I'm going to break down the digestive system just to show y'all, and then we're going to take it to the food processor. So say you get whole food, right? Say I take a whole food, let's just say an apple, and I bite the apple. The moment I bite the apple, I start chewing. That's the first part. I have to chew this apple up into a liquid substance before I swallow it, for it can better be absorbed inside of my digestional tract, right? So when I bite into this apple, it goes down my esophagus, then it hits my stomach. When it gets inside of my stomach, the hydrochloric acid in my stomach breaks down this apple even more. And then what happens is it turns into something called chyme or chyme. Right now, once it turns into chyme, it passes into a small intestinal tract called the duodenum or the duodenum. Inside the duodenum or the duodenum, it breaks down even more. And then all of the phytonutrients are extracted from this apple. So this apple is no longer an apple. This apple has become chyme. Now this chyme is in my digestional tract, and all the phytonutrients, all of the different vital minerals that's in there, all of the biophotons, the bioflavonoids, all of the different amino acids that's inside of the apple is extracted from the apple, and it goes into the bloodstream. Then there's leftovers from this apple, what they call micro waste. Macro waste. This macro waste cannot be absorbed into the bloodstream. So then it goes into the actual small intestines. First, it passes through something called the jejunum. When it gets inside the jejunum, it's further broken down more. Then it passes into the ileum. When it gets to the ileum, it's broken down even more and it's wrapped in a whole lot of saliva. Then it passes a door and it goes into something called the cecum valve. Once this food gets in the cecum valve, it ends up in something called the cecum colon, and the appendix start giving it all bacteria to start breaking these things down into gases, for you can fume these things out of the body, and then water hit it, and most of the water that come from the apple is absorbed back into the digestional tract, right? And then it goes into your rectum, holes in your rectum. It's nerve signals that tells your rectum that it's full. It goes through something called peristalsis, and then you push out the macro, and you get poop, or you get feces, or what they call defecation, right? So you eat an apple, and then the absorption happen, then the apple go further and get broken down, and then you have to poop the apple out, right? That's just the regular digestive system of a human being. Now check this out. This is what we done figured out, right? So say if they want to get you some sugar, because sugar come from sugar cane, or say if you want to get a piece of bread, or you want to get some bleached white flour, which bleached white flour actually come from spelt, or it comes from whole wheat grain, right? It's in a holistic form. It haven't been touched by God. It haven't been touched by man. God created in his holistic nature. It's good for the horses to eat it. Sometimes it's good for you to swallow and chew these things down, depending on where it's from and if it's ripened or not. But we have become so addicted to food, and the allopathic community and the pharmaceutical companies working in conjunction with the food industries, they have found a way to get us addicted to the foods by the way that they ratio out the salt, the protein, the sugar, and the fat ratio of the foods. It produces certain type of dopamines inside of our brains, and this dopamines give us that dope high. That's why you get people that's, dope heads or crack heads. They hooked on dope. They chasing dope. That's a saying because the real word for dope is dopamine, because that's what's inside of the poppy plants and the poppy fields. That's what's inside of the cocaine and the crack and the heroin. It produces this melanin neurotransmitter called dopamine that gives you a euphoria, or that gives you like a high. And that's the reason why sugar is worse like cocaine. Sugar is actually banned in different continents and different countries, because sugar is looked at as a neurotoxin, because it's an isolated chemistry up out of corn, or it's an isolated chemistry out of the sugar cane. Now let me show you how they process these foods, and then these foods end up processing us. So say they want you addicted to sugar, because selling sugar is bigger than selling heroin. It's bigger than selling metatrons of drugs, y'all. Selling sugar. Sugar is $1 billion industry. Just talking about bleached white sugar alone. So they take sugar cane and they take it to a factory, right? So when you get the sugar cane in the factory, the first thing they do is they grind the sugar cane up. The same thing that your teeth do when you grind up your food, because you finna start a digestive process, showing you that your body is a true food processor, and they have taken your body, they have replicated your body, and they're processing your food and giving you processed food before you can even process it. So when you eat food, you're processing already processed food, meaning that you're not getting any phytonutrients from it, you're not getting any bioflavonoids from it, you're not getting any biophotons from it, you're not getting any healing constituents that's going to be to complete your molecular structure, and that's going to reinvent or reinvest in your DNA to make new cells. You're not getting none of that, because your body is already a food processor, and you're already eating processed food. So you are processing processed food. Now check this out. So let's just talk about the sugar cane, and then we're going to go through the actual wheat. So this is a factory. All right, so these are potato chips, y'all. So before it got to this actual point, this was actually before it got to this actual point, y'all, this was actually potatoes, full grown whole potatoes, y'all. So what happened is they took it through a food processor, and then the food processor broke these potatoes down the same way that you would chew on your food. When you chew a potato, you break it down into little pieces. Now it goes through the esophagus, or they take it through an assembly line, and then the food go into your stomach. Well, except the food going into your stomach, it goes into this heating oven, and they heat up these potatoes. Now, when they heat up the potatoes, it changes the molecular structure of what the potato had to offer you. Whether we talking about a sweet potato, whether we talking about a red rose potato, whether we talking about a ground potato, they're changing the molecular structure, and they're baking all of the chemicals and the nutrients that you need to rehabilitate or rebuild your cells up out of it. After it goes through that process, then they sprinkle it and they put preservatives and adjectives and stuff like that on it to preserve the food for it can last long. Usually they use sugars, isolated sugar chemistry, or they use salt and stuff like that. And then they pack it up in a bag and they'll put it on the shelf, and then you will eat it. Notice this was, look, it was completely processed though. They broke it down through the mouth, right? Or with a grinder, they food processor, and then it went through an oven that acts as your stomach. Then they extracted all the nutrients out of it because they don't want you to be full from this. They actually have clinical names for this where they don't want the food to fill you up, but they want you to taste. They want the taste to be as like a satisfied taste. So you still are hungry and still wanting more. This set off endorphins and dopamine inside of your brain that keep you chasing the food and wanting the potato chips, even down to the crunch, y'all. The crunch of the potato chips is specifically scientific because when you crunch on things, it solves a nervous problem, or it lowers your anxiety. Just like when a black man or a black woman get nervous, they like to chew and crunch on their nails. That crunching effect does something to you neurologically. See that? So they have these things down to a specific science on how to keep you addicted to the processed food, because you are really not getting anything from the processed foods, because there is no phytonutrients, there is no glucose or fructose in these processed foods, there is no vital minerals in these processed foods, or there's no bioflavonoids, because they extracted all of them out to keep you addicted to the food. And this was actually passed in 1942 by your supreme government in the United States. They said that they can process the foods and take all the stuff out of the food, and now it's no longer holistic chemistry, and they can give you these foods to grow this billion-dollar industry that is truly ran by the Rothschilds and by the Rockefellers, y'all. And these are the same people that owns the pharmaceutical companies, and these are the same people that owns the allopathic community, or what you call your MDs and your doctors. So we have the food industry in bed with the allopathic community. We have the allopathic community in bed with the pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical companies is in bed with the dentist doctors, all this stuff. And look, check this out. Even the food, or this highly complex sugar, breaks down your teeth and rips and tears your enamel from your teeth. And now the dentist industry actually make money off of these processed foods. So everybody making money off of these processed foods but you. These processed foods is robbing your body of all the things you need to rebuild your molecular structure. Now check this out. So when it goes through these phases, they isolate the chemistry and they isolate all the biochemicals and the bioflavonoids that you need to complete your molecular structure, or to feed each individual cell in your body. Then they have to add preservatives and additives to it for it won't rot, or for it won't become molded, or something won't happen to it, or it won't lose its taste. And notice that these preservatives and these additives are behavior modifiers, meaning you eat these preservatives and they have a psychological change on the manifestation on how you view reality, because these are truly behavior modifiers. Y'all, and then let's not talk about the sex steroids that they putting in the potatoes to grow them faster, or the sex steroids that they putting in these fake chickens to grow them faster for production. Not only is they processing the chicken, not only is they ripping the chicken from all its phytonutrients and all of the chemicals and the minerals that need to be inside of it to feed you, even though you're not supposed to be eating it anyway, but they actually are adding sexual hormones and chemistry to them to grow them faster. So you eating these sexual hormones in your potato chips, you eating these sexual hormones in your chicken and in your beef, and you wonder why you want to hump everything, or the way you look at the same sex starts to change, and you start having homosexual thoughts and stuff like this. This stuff is literally coming from your processed foods, y'all. And this stuff been proven. I'm not making none of this stuff up. You can literally look this shit up, and it's right there on the web for y'all. So The reason why I'm talking about this is because you done took this holistic food, you done took the sugar and isolated the sugar out of the sugar cane, you done bleached the sugar by adding alcohol to it, then you done put additives and preservatives in it to make the sugar last long, and then you done cook the sugar, which changed the molecular structure. So by definition, a processed food is a bowel movement. So this is nothing but a bowel movement, y'all. If you look at this potato, this used to be a potato, now it's a potato chip. So these literally act like digestive systems. These are food processing companies, but everything inside of this company, each of these individual food processors and machines act like a different mechanism or a different organ inside of your body. For instance, this act like a liver because it extracts and it changes the molecular structure of the food. For instance, this right here act as the stomach because it have acids or it heats up the food to isolate the chemistry. You see what I'm saying? This one right here acts like the molar or your teeth because this is part of the food processor that actually breaks down the food and grind it up to a pulp. So everything that we're looking at inside of these food industries are actually replicating our digestive system. So my question will be this to y'all. If the food processing companies or is acting as a replica of your digestive system, that means that the food processing companies in the food industry is taking these things through machines to eat your food. So if it eats the food, if it heats the food up like your stomach, if it grinds the food up like your teeth, if it extracts the things from the foods like your liver, if it restructures the molecule like your liver on site, if it goes through the absorption factors like your duodenum, and then it poops the food out, or what you would call a packaged product, which is nothing but the poop, then when you eat this processed food, what are you getting from it? Because you eat the whole food, to process the food, to get the phytonutrients from it. So if you already got a manufacturer company processing the food for you, then what are you getting from the food when you eat these processed foods? So your digestive system or your food processor, or what we call the body, is already eating processed foods. Then how is it feeding your body and rebuilding your molecular structure? It's not at all. It is robbing you, literally robbing you, because they have to isolate these chemistries. And if you look and you study anything about holistic biochemistry, we notice that when you isolate chemistry, there have to be a compensation from it. For instance, if I isolate calcium up out of a food and I take that calcium, the body is going to be stripped of magnesium, for the magnesium can bring a balance or compensation to the calcium. Same thing with iron phosphate. If I just get iron phosphate and I isolate iron phosphate from the food, then the body is going to pull selenium from up out of my melanin, because selenium is the only thing that can balance out iron phosphate. You see that? Same thing for iodine. If I isolate iodine, the body is going to pull bromine out of the cells. Same thing for potassium monophosphate. If I pull potassium monophosphate, then salt is going to be pulled from my cells. So whenever you isolate chemistry like these food companies are doing when they processing the foods, you throw your body off of balance and you throw your body out of homeostasis. Whenever you throw the body out of homeostasis, then it have an acidic response. Whenever the body have an acidic response, a mucosa response or a lymphatic response will happen, and now you are glomulating and coagulating mucus inside of the system to compensate and actually put out the fire from you eating processed foods. Notice this too: when you eat these foods, the food is supposed to go inside the duodenum for absorption. Well, if the food is already processed and they already extracted all of the phytominerals, all of the biochemicals and the bioflavonoids and all of these different amino acids that you need to rebuild the chemical makeup or to rebuild the chemical structure, then what are you absorbing once the food hits your duodenum? You not absorbing a damn thing. So you literally are wasting all of your energy, all of your chi, all of your kai, all of your digestive molecular energy, electrical magnetic energy to break down a food that you're not getting shit from. You're not getting anything from it. So now this food breaks down into complex monosaccharides or complex polysaccharides, which means a complex sugar, or it breaks down into complex amino acids or what we call proteins. And then these things actually have a bad effect on our molecular structure. And now you have waste. So literally when you eat processed food, you are eating waste by definition. You're eating the poop from the factories, because the factories had everything that's in your digestive system made into a machine to digest and break your food down for you before the food even get packaged and get put inside of your carton. You take this shit, because it's all it is digestive waste now. You take this feces that's wrapped up and look very pretty through the colors. They're going to put red in it for it can ping off of your sacral chakra and your root chakra. They're going to put a little yellow in it for it can intensify your solar plexus chakra to make it feel like it's intellectually drawing to you. It's going to get your mouth watering and all types of shit. This all through the promotion. So they have you sexually addicted to the food, but then you eat the food and you don't get no stimulants from it because there's no phytonutrients in the food, because you're eating the processed poop that the factories then took your holistic food and then broke it down into a chemical drug for you to take, and you wonder why you're addicted to these chemicals and you can't stop eating what you're eating. Did y'all know Glutathione is a actual melanin neurotransmitter in a chemical composition that's actually inside of your natural holistic food? Did you know glutathione, when you look at the chemical makeup of this melanin neurotransmitter / hormone, is actually made to keep you from having an addictive personality? So if you take glutathione and you extract it from the food, then that means you're going to become addicted to the sugar and the salts and the fats that's in the food, and you're not going to even be able to kick it when you need to, because they took the very chemical factor that stopped you from being addicted to it in the first place. Like they're playing a scientific game. This is scientific warfare, and this is biochemical warfare that's being waged on the people, and we don't even see it. They are literally extracting all the things from your food that's going to rebuild your bone structure, that's going to rebuild your ribosome, that's going to rebuild your cells, that's going to bring you high yielding energy and angstroms of energy, energetics, or what we're going to call glucose and fructose, to bring oxygen and vitality and ATP, adenosine triphosphate, to the brain and to the cells for you can have energy. They taking all of this stuff out of the food and they're leaving you with the byproduct of what we're going to call the shit, the byproduct, the poop, the leftovers. Just like you poop out defecation in the toilet because the body didn't need that micro stuff. That macro stuff, the same thing that you eat when you eat your Twinkies, when you eat your sugars, when you eat your breads, when you eat your muffins, when you eat your pizzas, when you eat your hamburgers, when you put your cheese on your hamburgers, when you eat your potato chips. You're eating the actual waste, the waste of the holistic food that you really supposed to be eating. See that? Ain't that crazy? So now you are becoming processed, because whatever you eat break down into these little bitty micros. These micros get absorbed by the digestive tract called the duodenum. It goes into the bloodstream and it gets dropped off to the cell. The cell then eats these things, and then amino acids and the sugars that come from these things go to the ribosome. The ribosome takes a pictographic picture of the DNA, and then it births a new cell. So everything you just ate becomes you and make up who you are. So if you eating processed food, then these processed foods is potentially processing you, because naturally your body is a natural food processor. You supposed to be the factory breaking down the food. This is supposed to be the food processor, and your mullions actually chewing down on the food, and your salivary glands producing amylose and trypsin, and this liquid is alkaline liquids is breaking down your carbohydrates. Your esophagus got this mucus in there that's going to wrap it up and prepare it for the stomach, for the hydrochloric acid, and the pepsin can turn these things into chyme or chyme. Then the chyme go into the duodenum once it passed the cardiac or the pyloric sphincter, and then the absorption factor happen. That absorption factor is where all the phytonutrients come from. But if you let them process your food, there's nothing to absorb, because they're going to extract all the things that you need to rebuild your body up out of the food and keep all the bullshit that you addicted to inside the food. And now, just like that, just like they got us hooked on crack in the 80s, just like they got us hooked on heroin in the early 90s, just like they got us hooked on Percocets and promethazine now in the 2000s, the same way that you have been addicted to these junk foods or these processed foods or these sweet foods that are really bad for your body, but it's giving you that dopamine, neuroepinephrine high. So you chasing that dope, you chasing that high, and it's not doing nothing for your body but robbing you of all the life that you're supposed to be getting from your food. I know that was a lot, y'all. Check this out. This is all food factories, y'all. Custom manufacturing food processing factories. This act as the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. This is what ferments your food. These things is what ferments your food, y'all. My stomach's supposed to ferment my food. The bacteria, the microbiome inside of my stomach supposed to ferment my food. You see that? Look at that. So it goes in as sugar cane, it goes in as cocoa, and then it comes out as chocolate. See that? This is the waste part of the holistic food. It used to be holistic. Now it have been processed. Your digestive system's supposed to do that. By clinical definition, processed food is a bowel movement. You are eating wrapped up bowel movement made to look like candy, made to look like snacks, made to look like hamburgers, made to look like lamb steaks. You're eating bowel movements. What are you going to do with that? Look at these processed foods. This is a very, very highly advanced technology, or what you would call a replica of the digestive system that comes from a human being. See that? Y'all see how this go? Look at this. Look how they make the cookies. This used to be whole grains. This used to be whole wheat. This used to be whole quinoa. This used to be whole teff. This used to be whole spelt. But then they cook it and they digest these things, and then they feed you the poop. They feed you the bowel movement. You get none of the simple sugars from these things. See that? So you got processed foods, and then from processed foods create processed niggas. And that's why niggas is walking around with processed minds. Shit on their mind. Shit on their speech. Shit inside of their belly. Shit intruding their blood. Shit as clothes. Shit for a personality. Bowel movement thought, bowel movement speech, bowel movement gut, bowel movement moving through their skin. They skin got rashes and even their skin is taking a poop because they're literally eating shit. You're eating the byproduct of processed foods when you're supposed to be eating foods in its holistic form, and your food processor called the digestive system supposed to be processing your food. And this is why I be talking about people that eat meat. Not talking about y'all and judging y'all. It just makes no sense because you're eating processed amino acids and eating processed proteins that the animal just ate. Why? And then they have the nerve and they say, well, the Bible say we can eat clean meats and clean foods, but the food got to eat grass and the food got to eat vegetables. So why in the hell would I eat an animal that eat vegetables to get the amino acids and stuff from the animal when I can just go to the same damn vegetation that the animal eat? So you telling me you're eating processed proteins from the animal. You're eating processed sugars from the animal. You're eating processed glucose from the animal. You're eating processed fructose from the animal, when you can go straight to the source that the so-called clean animal eat and eat it straight from the source, for your body can process it through your natural digestive enzymes and process these foods and break down the phytonutrients, for you can get the healing constituents from eating firsthand and not going through a middleman. We want a middleman everything. We want to middleman everything. We middleman the processed foods. We middleman the animal. We middleman in everything. And we wonder why we have become processed. And that's the reason why 98% of all of your so-called diseases is mineral deficiency. Because you don't have no damn minerals, because they're digesting the minerals through these laboratories and giving you the food. Or you don't get no minerals from your animals because you were eating the animals and they ate the food to get the minerals from. Guess what they ate? They ate herbs. They ate vegetables. They ate fruits to get their minerals. Then you would kill the animal, damn the animal, burn the animal alive, cook all of the blood up out of it when the minerals is in the blood, and then you will eat the processed minerals that the animals process. And you wonder why you're mineral deficiency. Because you got secondhand minerals from a secondhand source. The animal already utilized and digested and absorbed the minerals. You can't do shit with it. It's already used. Well, I'm iron deficient. They told me to eat cod. They told me to eat salmon. They told me to eat beef. They told me to eat lamb. They told me to eat bison. You be like, hold on. So I wonder where the hell the bison and the lamb and the cod and the salmon got their minerals from. Oh, the salmon and the cod got their minerals from seaweed. Oh, they got it from nori. They got it from kelp. They got it from sea moss. They got it from club moss. They got it from fucus. They got it from bladderwrack. So instead of going to get the nori, instead of going to get the sea moss, instead of going to get these sea vegetables, instead of going to get the club moss, instead of going to get the fucus and the bladderwrack, you will go get the fish that ate this stuff and already processed it within its molecular structure, and you will eat the byproduct or the poop from it. Make that make sense, family. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever when you can bypass the fish and go to the same source to get the minerals where the fish got it from, which is from the sea vegetables. Well, my doctor told me I need to eat more lamb and I need to eat more liver because liver and lamb got iron phosphate in it. Hold on, I wonder where that little bitty lamb got the iron phosphate. Did it get it from a plant called lamb's quarters? Lamb's quarters is an actual plant, y'all. Plant that's very, very high in iron phosphate. One of the reasons why they call it lamb's quarter is actually a delicacy to lambs. So you would go get a lamb, kill the lamb, cook all of the minerals through the blood, because you know black people don't like medium rare. See, if you're gonna get any phytonutrients, you're gonna have to do what the carnivore cat do. You're gonna have to eat this animal while it's alive. You can't kill it and you can't drain the blood, because all the phytonutrients is in the blood. The life is in the blood, the minerals is in the blood. Remember, the blood is what feeds the cells the phytonutrients. The lymphatic system is what cleanses the cells of the byproducts of what the phytonutrients have processed. The nervous system, or the melanin neurotransmitters, is what communicates and tells the cells what to do. So if you want to get the phytonutrients from the animal, you have to eat and drink the blood. But you ain't going to do that though. Because the same Bible you talking about tell you that you can't eat the blood. You got to cook the food. Even though the meat killing you anyway and it's a secondhand product. I'm just trying to get y'all to think here. I'm not tearing nobody down. I just want you to start thinking. It blows your mind when you start reading certain stuff or people start trying to preach and tell you something that makes no fucking sense at all. These things are killing our body. So you cook the blood up out of it. Not only is you cooking the blood up out of the meat, the minerals that's in the blood have already been utilized because a living organism ate the plant to get the minerals. So you would kill this lamb and you would cook and bake or barbecue all the blood out of the lamb, and then you would eat the lamb, and then you wonder why your iron's still low, because you ate the defecation, the byproduct of the natural resource where the lamb got it from, which was from the what? Lamb quarters. It's the craziest thing. So I see a whole lamb right here. This lamb look good. Damn, I need that lamb for iron phosphate. Then I see a whole plant where the lamb is finna go eat it at. Damn, that plant look too nasty. Let me eat the lamb. Well, let me feed the lamb. And look, this is the craziest shit I ever heard. Yeah, I fed this is organically grown meat. This is organically grown farm lamb. This is organically grown farm chickens. They ate the best of the best. And then you see what they feed them. They are feeding the animals that you eating the shit that you're supposed to be eating in the first place. They selling you the middleman. They giving you the middleman. You pass up the source, which is the fruits and the vegetables, and you will go to the middleman, which is the animals that eat the fruits and vegetables and eat the damn animal. And you wonder why you mineral deficient. Because you are a processed Negro, because you eating processed foods. Hey, man, this is a tea moment. I wish I had some tea here. This is a tea moment. Y'all see how this is crazy? We have been hoodwinked, family. We have been hoodwinked. We have been hoodwinked. Check this out, y'all. I just want to show you. I know my people like visual things. What do cows eat? Watch this, y'all. What do cows eat?
50% of cow feed is actually grass. While people often think dairy cows are fed a high-grain diet, in reality they eat the leaves and stems from corn and oats far more often than they are eating grain, like corn kernels.
So we see cows eat vegetation. Hold on. Cows eat vegetation. So let's just see cows eating vegetation. Let's just see how this works. So we see cows in the field eating what? Is cows eating other cows, y'all? Is cows eating baby chickens and rats? No, cows are eating what? Vegetables and herbs. So you will eat this cow to get what it ate from the vegetables. When you can just say, you know what, cow? Live your cow life. Do whatever fucking purpose you is to do, which I think they're here to cultivate the land, not cultivate our stomachs and our bodies. Their poop is very, very good for cultivation of the land. It's not good for our bodies. It's killing us. It's highly complex proteins. So you, since you have been processed by the government, you will see this beautiful living cow, and you will eat the cow instead of eating what the cow eat to get the minerals that the cow ate to get the minerals from. So you'll completely pass up the cow. And look, we're observing the cow. The cow needs to put on metrotons. That's how big they is. So they eat and voyage and eat greens and vegetables all single day. And the reason why is because greens and vegetables pack so many amino acids, and greens and vegetables pack so many minerals. So the doctor would tell you that you're amino acid deficient and you are mineral deficient. And look, we talking about a 3-ton cow here. He get all of these things from the grass. Instead of you going to get the wheatgrass, instead of you going to get the grass, the rice, the grains and stuff that they eat, you will wait till they eat it and then you will eat the damn cow. What sense does that make? I'm listening. Do anybody got an answer for this? Do anybody got an answer for this? And then you look at all of the big animals. Elephants, vegan, plant-based. One of the heaviest mammals, land mammals on earth right now. I ain't talking about a whale. Land mammals on earth right now. A gorilla, silverback gorilla. One of the strongest animals in the jungle right now. Frugivore. Sometimes when they get pushed from the high plains and the mountains, they start eating, other things like bamboo shoots and things like that. But still, plant-based. Then you look at the oldest creature, land mammal, the tortoise. Super old. They can live to be 200 years old. Guess what they eat? Vegan, vegetable, plant-based. So we have the heaviest, which is the elephant, plant-based. We have the strongest, which is the silverback gorilla, plant-based. Then we have the oldest, which is the tortoise or the turtle, plant-based. What are we missing here? What are we missing? How are we not getting this? Oh, because we have been processed. We have been processed because we are eating processed foods. Guess where these cows are getting their protein from? Vegetation, plant-based foods. Guess where you getting your so-called processed protein stimulus from? Eating the damn cow. Eating a damn cow when the cow is getting its holistic chemistry from here. Got to make it make sense. We have to make these things make sense, family. We got to make it make sense. So I'm just showing you this to show you the process food and how it's killing us and how they are isolating chemistry, how they're taking all the phytonutrients up out of the food and how they're taking all of the bioflavonoids up out of the food to give you this fulfilling for a minute. But then your body is going to start aching the phytonutrients and the glucose and the fructose and these high yielding energies again. So what you would do is you would do exactly this. You would start fiending and getting hungry again, not knowing that you're addicted to the sugar because the sugar come from sugar cane, just like the cocaine come from the cocaine. And these are all part of the same family. You are not addicted to cigarettes. You're addicted to the sugar, the apple bomb that's in the cigarettes. You are not addicted to alcohol. You're addicted to the salt and sugar ratio that's in the alcohol. You are not truly addicted to meat. You're addicted to the processed sugar and salts that's left over in the meat. You are not addicted to sweets and snacks. You're addicted to the processed sugar that's left over in the sweets and snacks. You're not addicted to soda pop. You're addicted to the high accumulated amount of sugar that's left over in the soda pop. You're addicted to the processing. See that? And look, guess who's processing this stuff? Your government. Ooh wee. This why it behooves us to start growing our own food, building our own community, seed banking organic heirloom seeds, sharing seeds, growing our food, building our own houses, planting our own vineyards, wearing our own clothes. I'm tired of wearing all these name brand clothes. I'm straight throwing all of mine away. I fly out next week to New York to go see my seamstress. I'm getting my all African garments made. It took a while to get to this point, but we finally there. We are processed, wearing processed clothes, eating processed foods, thinking processed thoughts, living a processed life. This shit is artificial. Everything is processed. Everything is fake. We get the shit end of the stick of everything. We get the shit end of the stick of the food. We get the shit in the stick of the clothes. We get the shit in the stick of the houses, public schooling, education, neighborhoods. Ain't y'all tired of getting processed shit? I am. I'm tired of processed things. Let me get some holistic, original, organic things that was created by Yahweh for once in my life. How about that? And how about we only can reach that point when we come together as a collective whole? As a collective whole. I'm tired of processed things, y'all. I'm tired. Women want to be processed. Fake ass, fake tits, fake waistlines. Niggas process. Fake hairlines. Fake to everything is processed. Damn. I'm tired of it. And I just hope y'all are too. Seriously. Because if we're eating processed foods and we're creating processed bodies, that means that we are manifesting a processed reality. And this processed reality is what got us in mental enslavement. Go back to the source, y'all. Go back to the source. The source is right in our face. The source is right in our face, y'all. Why are we keep going to the damn middleman? I don't need a cow to get my proteins and minerals. I need what the cow eat that he got his. That's what y'all need to start doing. Let's start asking it. Moo, cow. Where did you get your proteins? Where did you get your I'm gonna start creating some black cartoons that make stuff real simple. The first episode is going to be unprocessing processed things. Episode 1. And it's going to be little black children that's hungry and they're protein deficient and they're mineral deficient. And they're on a quest to find how to get their minerals and how to get their proteins. And they looked in the field and they seen cows and horses eating their minerals and their proteins. And they went to the minerals. That mean they went to the horses and they went to the cow and said, "Cow, what are you eating? How are you getting your minerals and your proteins, cow?" And the cow look at the grass and say, "Moo, I get it from my plant-based diet. You don't have to eat me, young children. You don't have to tell your mama to come package me up and put me on a grill and burn all of my fucking blood out of my tissues. Guess what? You can eat the same thing that I'm eating, children. Which is grass, which is vegetables, which is fruits, which is grains. And you're going to be muscular, you're going to be healthy just like me. Because guess what? You're eating from source and you're not eating me, which is a byproduct of the source." Like, I really want y'all to get this, y'all. Like, for real, I love us. I love us as a people. I love what we doing. I love the conscious awakening that we are embarking. We cannot expect us to become free when we are processing ourselves and we are further complicating and compromising our DNA because we're eating the wrong foods. It's impossible to unlock your junk DNA. It's impossible to really strengthen that ancestral cord, to unlock your Akashic records, and to operate from your seventh sense, and to operate from your biophotons, and to activate the light body code frequency when you're eating dense ass, heavy ass, processed, empty ass, byproduct food that we call technically a bowel movement, wrapped in paper that looks sweet, that got some white man name on it, and that's appealing to the eye because they have been propagating and been promoting this shit on every TV station, on every billboard, on every damn radio station, in every store. They got this shit everywhere. Signs up of burgers dripping. You think it's symbolically, it looks like semen and nut dripping from a vagina, so you sexually stimulated by it. You sexually addicted to your food. You want to have sex with your food neurologically because you want to get that dopamine and that oxytocin release to make you feel whole, to give you that desire satisfaction feeling. So you're addicted to sugar, cane, cocaine, sweetheart, sweetie, honey bun, sugar pie. You're just so sweet. You're just a gentleman. Oh, you're just so sweet. You addicted to sugar. You want everything to be sweet. Everything around you gotta be sweet. Because you so addicted to this neurotoxin, this processed sugar. We gotta wake up, family. We gotta wake up. May the 7th, we're gonna be in San Diego, California. Click the link in the bio. Make sure you buy the tickets. The tickets are going fast. We're going to be in San Diego, California. We're going to be at the World Beat Center with Mama Makita. I'm doing my Risen Black Messiah Alliance conference there, talking about holistic health, healing, freeing the mind, body, and soul. We're going to have herbal giveaways there. We're going to have African dances there. They're going to be playing the African drums. We got a beautiful lady that's going to be playing a harp. We're going to have sound healings, and we're going to do meditations. We're going to kick it off with some breath work. San Diego, California, click the link in the bio. For those that's on my YouTube, just click on the link and get you a ticket ASAP through eventbrite.com. Make sure y'all get them tickets. They are leaving fast. The building will be packed. It's going to be a special guest in that deal, and we're going to have some fun, and we're going to learn. And I will be giving away seeds at this one. On this tour, I will be giving away seeds. We're actually kicking off the seed banking in San Diego. We will have thousands of seeds there. Thousands of seeds there. All right. Now, let's talk about how to get off these processed foods, y'all. That's what we need to talk about. Whenever you start talking about, issues, you have to have solutions. There's an herb, y'all, that's very, very, very good for breaking your addictive behavior to food. I'm gonna give you the herbs, and then I'm gonna give you my herbs that I made a concoction and I formulated a ratio of these herbs, and it works spectacular. But I don't want to think I don't want y'all to think that I'm ever getting y'all for money. So I'm gonna give you the herbs. The first one will be quassia chips. Quassia chips is very, very good for breaking addictive behavior and addictive personality. You see that? And the reason why is because it got glutathione in it. It's very good for breaking that up. It also kills parasites, and most of these gnarly parasites are in control of our behavior and in control of our hunger through the secretions and through the defecation that they do inside of our bloodstream and our body. They actually call on us to get what they want to eat. The potato chips that you ate, that wasn't you. Naturally, you are righteous. In your natural state, you are righteous. You are perfect. You are complete. Everything you need is within you. But when you have these foreign invaders, they start thinking for you. So you be wanting potato chips, and your good mind be like, I know these potato chips putting weight on me. I know these potato chips ain't good for me. That's them damn parasites. They want to eat. They love mucus. They love acidic environment. So to kill those and to break that with the glutathione, quassia chips. Another one is called Judah root. Judah root. All these things are in my 3 bitters, y'all. Judah root. Judah root. Another one, you have to cleanse out the digestional tract. Cascara sagrande. Cascara sagrande, mix it with a little gravel root. And that'll sweep. That acts as an intestinal broom that'll actually sweep that GI tract to get all that mucinoid plaque out, really open up the meridian pathways, get that energy back in. You see that? To kill the parasites more, get you some mugwort, get you some greater wormwood, greater wormwood, some black walnut hull, and mix it with some clove. Mix it with some clove. This will actually attack the big germets or the big parasites, and it'll actually get the microparasites too, the ones that's growing larvae and stuff like that. See that? These things are going to kill the parasites. Or you can get my 3 bitters off my website, which does all these things, or you can get my parasitic elimination kit, which is a whole kit that will flush your whole body out. That will flush your whole entire body out. You see that? But quassia chips and hydrangea root breaks up calcification. This breaks up stagnated sugars. This breaks up coagulation and agglomulation. So, make sure that you get you some hydrangea root as well. Hydrangea root as well. All these things are sold on my website in individual herbs, which you can buy them individually, or all of them are sold in packages. You can actually buy them in packages and in kits. 3 bitters, 3 bitters, 3 bitters, 3 bitters. I cannot tell you enough how powerful, how potent, and how active my 3 bitters are. They're saving the world, y'all. And I bullshit you not. You think I'm lying? Just look at my story feeds. It's so many people that buy the 3 bitters, so many good healing testimonies and all of those things. The parasite elimination kit is very, very, very good for you as well. Another thing we have to do. We have to start eating fruits in its right state, y'all. You got to start eating the fruit in its right stage. Quit eating fruit that's unripened and quit eating fruit that's overly ripe, because it causes the fruit to ferment too quick in the belly, and this actually grows fungi or fungus. Fungus and fungi grow mold. This again brings on parasites due to the microbiome. So we got to be very careful with that too. Another thing is food combination. We got to make sure that we're combining our food right. If you're going to eat fruit with anything else, eat the fruit first before the fruit can digest first. Do not eat proteins or complex amino acid structures first and then put fruit on top of it, because the fruit is going to digest it first, because the body is not going to digest both of them. The body can only do one thing at a time. So it's going to digest what it can digest the easiest. And then you got fermentation on top of protein. And this creates coagulation and mucus response. Now you got a digestional tract full of mucus, and then alcohol is turned. Now the alcohol is going to bring this mold into the bloodstream. Now you got toenail fungus, fingernail fungus, you got dangerous mold spores and flakes coming out of your head and all types of other stuff. So food combination is very, very important as well. Very, very important. Another thing that we have to realize, the times of day that we eating. We have to make sure that we eating in particular times of the day. Eat with the sun and stop eating when the sun go down. See that the sun is your biological clock. That'll tell you when to put the dinner on the plate, or what you call menu. Menu come from menuya, which is an actual ancient Kemetic word. Meni, menwar, menia. That's where menu come from. And this actually comes from eating correct or right food. So you can't say food is on the menu when the food is not even food. Processed food is technically, scientifically not a food. It's a bowel movement. Food, the definition of food is basically vital nutrients or phytonutrients that you get from your food that brings high vitality and fuel to the cells. Processed food is not feeding the cells high vitality. It's not feeding the cells energetics or nothing like that. It's killing your adrenals. It's putting your kidneys down. It's creating protein and phosphorus acid, uric acid, all types of carbonic acid, lactic acid, phytic acid, sulfuric acid in the body, and it's bringing to your body into a state of acidosis, which is potentially killing you because you constantly want to go through the middleman, or either go through the food industry and get your food, or go through the animals to get your food, instead of going through the natural source that Yahweh created to be, which is your fruit, berries, melons, and simple vegetables and simple grains here and there, y'all. Point blank, period. So I hope y'all truly got what I was saying. If y'all got some understanding, overstanding, and understanding what I was talking about, y'all type in some nines, and then I'm going to answer some questions for y'all. Y'all good? All right, y'all got that? All right, I'm going to answer a few questions, and I'm going to get up out of here. What y'all got for me? What y'all got for me? Yeah, y'all, it's the 7th of May, which is the first Saturday of May. And it's going to be at the World Beat Center in San Diego, California. Go on, get that plane ticket. Go on, book you some rooms and come out. You ain't gonna be dissatisfied at all. You're gonna love it. We're here to expand consciousness and to grow and bring together the collective consciousness of our people. It's going to be information there that you've never heard of before. It's good alkaline food that's going to be served there. The food is provided within the ticket price. We're giving away herbs. We're giving away all types of stuff. We're just going to have a good time, and we really going to build. What helps with depression? Seco66. Depression is usually a hippocampus or hypothalamus issue that's directly connected to the pituitary and the thyroid. Usually when you see people that's depressed, they're not producing a lot of vitamin D and a lot of melanin. So you're going to have to go after the thyroid and look at your parathyroid. The best way to check your thyroid and your parathyroid is to get a thermometer and put it under each of your armpits where you can check your basal temperature. Your basal temperature is supposed to be at a 96.8. If it's below that, you're hyperthyroidism. If it's up, then you hyperthyroidism. And usually this has something to do with your calcium bone matrix utilization, and it have a lot to do with your iodine utilization, your bromine utilization, and mineral deficiency because you're not in the sun enough. I suggest that if you are depressed, you change your diet to a high energetic diet because you're taking in high light cold frequencies. This will then excite and expand your consciousness, and that's going to make you happy too because you're becoming self-aware. That brings a lot of happiness to you. Also go sit out in the sun. That sun would then convert your LDL cholesterol over into sex hormones and vitamin D3. These lipids and this cholesterol to come from there, or happy chemicals. This actually help you release oxytocin, which is the love chemistry and the love hormone. And just make sure you're out in the sun at least 2 hours a day. Make sure you're eating an all raw diet or all raw food, and just make sure you're loving on yourself. Do affirmations. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself that you are healthy, you are wealthy, you are wise. I am happy. You see that? I am glad. I'm grateful. And gratitude. Gratitude exercises get rid of all that depression shit. Like start looking around your life and looking at things on your house and start giving thanks for them. Damn, I'm alive. I got breath. I give thanks for breath. You know how many people didn't wake up this morning? Dang, I got clothes on my back. I thank God I got clothes on my back, whether they got holes in them or not. You know how many homeless people that don't have a shirt or don't have socks? Dang, I actually got a mother, a father. I ate today, whether it was a meal, 1 meal or 2 meal. I actually got to eat food because there's millions that didn't eat today. Let's go to Africa. Millions in Southern Africa that didn't eat today. So it's gratitude, exercise and gratitude will help with depression as well. But usually depression is a thyroid problem. Check that basal temperature and let me know what that basal temperature is. And then we can bring that thyroid up and bring it into a balance of homeostasis. And usually that's what gets rid of depression. All right. Floaters. Can floaters be reversed? Floaters can be reversed, but you got to find out, Admin 13, you got to find out what the floaters are. Is these floaters fragments of your eyes, your iris breaking off because of acidosis, systemic acidosis, and systemic lymphatic blowback in your eye? Or is it actually a lot of these floaters, what we have noticed when you get on our eye tincture, it be parasites, literally thread worms and hookworms floating around in your eye. You know, a lot of this is debris that's coming from acidosis. So in order to get that, I say get my eye tincture off the website or get some eye bright and get some Dillberry and cleanse your eye out with the eye bright. That'll get the floaters out of your eyes and also cleansing your lymphatic system. The glymphatic system is the lymphatic sewage system of the brain. If you want to cleanse and drain the sinus cavities, drain the nasal cavities, and just drain the ventricles of your brain, period, you have to go by way of the glymphatic system and the cerebral spinal fluid. The only way to cleanse that is by cleansing out the transverse colon, because that's where the lymphatic system is pressurized in the head at. That's why most people that get headaches and get migraines have colon issues, because they have too much poop compacted in their colon, which is over pressurized in the food processor, and that's systemically back up in the glymphatic system, which bring pressure in them sinus cavities, and now you got migraines and stuff everywhere. Also, sulfur that comes from antibiotics and come from too much medicine use brings a lot of different pressure and systemic blowback inside the sinus cavities too that causes migraines. What else we got? It says peace. Where we at? Dang, that just messed that. All right, Nutrition Discord will be getting started up soon. I don't know what that is. All right, let's see. Help with menstrual cramps. If you have a menstrual cramps, that means you're producing way too much estrogen. Way too much estrogen, and you're not releasing enough pregnenolone and progesterone. To get rid of menstrual cramps, you literally have to start eating all raw. Eat all raw. You have stuff like cramp bark. You need to eat antispasmodic type of herbs. Hydrangea root is an antispasmodic type of herbs. Juniper berry is an antispasmodic type of herbs. Start eating these antispasmodic type of herbs, and it'll keep you from actually cramping up real bad. And eat raw. Women, you supposed to be eating raw. Y'all are the portals for the for the woman child and the man child to come here. You know, that menstruate cycle got to be on point. And you have to lower your estrogen intake. Remember that it's estrogen in your tap water. It's arsenic acid and estrogen in your bottled water. Make sure that you're drinking H3O2 and not H2O. Get your water from your fruits. Drink your fruits. And I bet you them crampers will go away. And if you change your diet, you will see your period don't be so crazy, and you won't be bleeding as much anymore anyway, because you're not shedding from your cervix or that endometrium layer of that cervix, because you don't have nothing to shed, because a period is to cleanse the vagina and the reproductive system anyway of the ovaries producing the corpus luteum every month, because through ovulation, that's supposed to become a baby. When it don't become a baby, it breaks off and it goes into the fallopian tubes. It ends up in the cervix of the endometrium lining of the cervix. You start shedding these cells off, and that's what becomes your period, or what you call your blood. So if you don't have nothing to bleed because the body is clean, then you won't bleed that much anyway, and it won't give you that much cramps. And also cramps happen from certain neurological functionings of the pituitary gland and the hippocampus. So you got to keep these things clean. If you want to keep the glandular highway clean and keep the endocrine system up and clean, berries. Just start adding a lot of berries to your diet. Another one we got is lymphatic massages will help. Of course, lymphatic massages. Oh, I love neuro-lymphatic massages, stimulating lymphatic point massages. But yes, deep tissue massages and lymphatic massages help a whole lot. Lung cancer. There's no such thing as cancer. All cancer means is a damaged cell. So this means you have damaged cells in your lungs. Cancer cells are basically cells that have been deprived of 66% of its oxygen, and it have a pathological entity inside of it, and it have such a strong extreme case of acidosis that the damaged cell cannot revitalize itself. We get cancerous cells all day, every day. This time it just so happened to be in your lungs. If you truly want to heal yourself of cancer, especially lung cancer, I wouldn't play around. I'll go on an all grape diet for at least 40 days, mixing it with lemons or key limes, either one, and grapes, and get my geogenetic therapeutic package level 2, and that'll get rid of your damaged cells. I'm not going to say it's get rid of cancer, because there's no such thing as cancer. The definition of cancer by a pathologist is a damaged cell to the point of no return. They call it a chronic damaged cell. You have acute, subacute, you have benign, you have chronic, then you have deterioration. That's what cancer is. It's a cell that's going through the phases of deterioration where it can't regenerate itself at all no more. That's all cancer is, a damaged cell, because the body is lacking oxygen. So bring oxygen and vitality to the body by way of an alkaline diet, eating nothing but fruits and berries, high in grapes and lemons, and drinking your fruit juices. Don't drink your grape juice though, because it have a lot of sugar in it, and we don't want it to process and break down slow, because it's going to cause fermentation, and then that fermentation can let that cancer linger on a little bit. So chew the grapes, don't juice them, but you can juice any other fruit. All right. Y'all, I'm trying to answer more, but it's giving me 38 minutes remaining, so I'm gonna use this last 38 minutes to tell y'all to click the link in the bio. We almost at 100,000 followers. When we get to 100,000 followers, I will be giving away 10 different herbs to random people that is following this channel. Click the link in the bio. Click on the website to get any healing potent herbs that you need for any diseases. Also check out the link in the bio. Hit the eventbrite.com to get tickets to my San Diego Risen Black Messiah Conference. Be there, be square. Don't meet me there, beat me there. We're going to be talking about some information you never heard before. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Peace.